Bang.
Bang.
Boom.
Bang.
Boom shakalaka.
But, oh, my God.
Brisket.
Brisket.
You just have to say more B words.
Oh, sure. Bumble.
Boxing.
Oh, I thought you'd go B, but bumble boxing is my favourite insect
Loose?
too.
Boob.
Boom.
Get a grip, man. hello for another current Ratfood where I'm
That's definitely current.
where we've brought in loosely trending things to chat today.
Sam definitely isn't in
Now Croatia.
Croatia.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Welcome to Loose, our favourite loose of the loose town.
How are you, girl?
I'm good, thank you.
You
How
good?
are you?
How are you?
both?
Does this top say lesbians?
No, it says
No.
Libra.
Oh my
Get
God.
your mind out of the
It's
gutter.
the way that I was about to be like, hold on a damn second.
Get me that.
Pass me that.
Pass me that. So good.
How are we, everyone?
I'm bloody tip top. Luce has made me a chai. I nearly had an absolute freak out in the kitchen. Luce went, "Do you want a cup of tea?" I went, "Yeah." Could I have it with oat milk? And Luce went, "We don't have oat milk." And then I went, "Okay, cool. Almond." She's like, "We don't have almond." I'm like, "All right, soy." And she's like, "We don't have soy." I'm like, "We're in Brunswick.
Oh,
Get
no.
a life. How do you not have alternative milk?" And
Not
then
a
we
single
found
alternative
oat
milk in that
We
fridge.
found someone's oat milk.
From like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Check the expiry. She's got a couple months left.
There you
No,
go.
I'm tip top. How are you, babe?
Tip top good. Apparently I'm chopped liver. Where the fuck is my chai tea?
I know.
Hey, that's what happens when you're 13 minutes late on the tram.
That
You miss
goddamn
out
tram.
on the chai tea.
That goddamn tram.
Everybody, we're here to talk about something today that I've been thinking about. I've been brewing on. Bit of Ratbag energy. It's giving I've been brewing on, I've been stewing on, I've been sitting on this for a while.
I think we've got a brew and stew and we've had a few guest steps. It's time
Yeah,
to inject the rats with a bit more us.
it's time to inject the rat foods with a bit of that bag energy.
Yep.
And I really stand by it. But however, my thoughts on this have been, it's really just something that I find really interesting that I want to
Okay.
like unpack and discuss. Now, obviously, Renée Rapp's brand new song came out a couple weeks ago, right? By the time that this goes live, it will have been a couple weeks ago. By the time we're recording this, it's like only been a couple of days.
Yeah.
So I also would like to say, if the discourse is discoursing in a couple of weeks and everyone is on board this train and this episode comes out and they're like, yeah, girl, obviously that's what everyone's been saying for weeks. Just know we said it first.
on the 28th of May, let it be known in this courtroom. 28th of May.
28th
These
of
are
May.
28th of May thoughts from my president, Mel O'Brien.
Thank you so much. Now, Renée Rapp, I'd love to like unpack her, chat about her as a person, as a celeb, as a musician,
Yep.
etc.
Yep.
There's so many different like angles that we can take to start,
Yep.
right? First of all, we got to name it. She's a theatre girly.
Yep.
At her heart, and I'm obsessed with that. We all know the leg mount video.
No.
Yes.
You don't know the leg mount video?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize. Don't apologize for anything ever.
I
Unless you've
couldn't-
done something wrong.
Yeah, good on you. I could just be a bit more in for this, couldn't I? Like, I could have known it.
No,
Go
no,
on.
you're so fine. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but there's this like incredible iconic like video of her literally in like a leg mount, like holding her leg up to her head,
Right.
singing with Natalie Weiss.
Oh, I
Natalie
didn't.
Weiss,
Sorry, I thought
the-
you meant leg mount and it was a music video. I was
No,
like, I don't
no,
know this song.
Like, ah.
Yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah. Right? I'm like, any girl who does that, she's a theatre girl who cares, right? I'm obsessed with her. Then she obviously, did she win the Jimmys? I think she won the Jimmys.
Get it.
She either won or she was like,
Or she
let
was-
me Google it whilst you
Yeah, or
keep
she was like in
chatting.
the finals. Went and played Regina George on Broadway when she was like 3 years old. She was so young, like freshly 18 or something stupid, right?
Yep.
And obviously has been put through so much in the media. She's had people comment on her body since the beginning of the time. She's had people talking about all of these things about her. Obviously then Mean Girls movie comes around. She's in that. It's incredible.
She also won the 2018 Jimmy.
She won it. There you go. Okay. She becomes this massive gay icon. All of this to say, I'm in for Renée Rapp for the most part.
Yep.
However,
Oh.
Okay.
I am not a fan of the new song.
Yeah.
Now,
Yep. That's not shocking to me.
Not
Based on
shocking.
your taste, and I'm not shocked by that as a statement.
I wanted to be so much more in.
Yep.
I wanted to be so much more in. However, I feel like, and this is kind of like what I'm bringing as like a can of worms, if you will. I couldn't find it. I've been chatting about it with Sarah a lot too, and Sarah's been chatting about a lot with her friends. So I'm stealing a lot of their thoughts because I agree as well. But to give credit, a lot of this has not initially come from my
Yep.
brain, but I really agree. Which is this notion or this idea that like in order to be cool in 2025, the vibe that you have to give is like, especially as a pop star, of people trying to be pop stars, is this energy of like, whatever, I don't really care. I think it was in an interview or something. She was like, I literally like, not me throwing together this music video like 48 hours before it was due from my producer. And I'm like, yeah, and you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not, why is it like, it comes back to our it's cool to care thing.
It's cool to care. I was about to almost rebut you and go, no, because Sabrina Carpenter is a prime example of something that's pristine with energy and time and like, there's a lot of like input, right,
Yes.
into her brand. However, I think Sabrina Carpenter also does fall into that trap of like, I'm a bit, and I'm a bit cheeky.
Yeah.
Like she's got that cheeky energy.
And
But
my
I
take
agree.
isn't that all pop stars are
No.
falling into I'm too cool to care, but I'm saying it's this like phenomenon
Yes.
that a lot of people seem to fall into.
Yep.
And this like song, have you heard it, Liz?
I haven't heard it.
Okay, the whole thing is like it has a really like cool hook. And here's the thing, when it started and when the teaser videos came out, it's kind of this like, leave me alone, bitch, I wanna have fun. And it's this whole like the whole song, I would say like it's fair to say the vibe of it is fuck you, shut up, leave me alone. I don't want to do that.
And
I
I'm
just want
gay.
to have fun. And I'm gay, I guess. But although none of the lyrics are really explicitly I'm gay.
I would just say the music
Are they?
video is incredibly like sapphic and
Yeah.
it's pillow fights galore.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But to all of that, I say I feel like listening to the song, I was like, hook, cool. Beyond that, I was like, not much else
Yeah.
going on. And I was kind of expecting more and wanting more. And I feel like,
Yeah.
it just made me think about this whole thing of like, I think a lot of like artists who are trying to be like punk or be rebels or be like against the system.
Yeah.
I'm like, but you can't just be like, fuck you, shut up.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. You kind of have to, instead of just being against things, also be for something.
Yeah.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense? I'm like, I don't think it's that punk or cool to be like, fuck it all.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
I completely understand what you mean. I think, unfortunately, when I heard the song, I couldn't get the hook out of my head, but in a bad way. Like I hear it just as like da 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 is how my brain hears it as like a very simple motif. I don't think it didn't have. I've got it.
And it is a strong hook. I agree.
It felt a little bit like if an artist was to make a guide track for another artist to learn a song and that was the song, that's what they would release to teach them. To teach them the vocals and for the guitarist to go, yeah, hell yeah.
Except Renée Rapp's doing this with her mouth.
Yeah.
And lifting
My
her.
question is,
It's a visual thing. Head to the YouTube. Grow up.
this is obviously like a sweeping generalization and an extreme take, and I know that there's nuance to it, but let's go in extreme for a second and then
just
peel
for
back.
fun.
I think it is impossible to brand yourself as an artist when you come from the most I give a fuck on Broadway industry. I'm like, the hairspray, the high kicks,
Totally.
the mic, the stand on your Rex, the I know my part, I've highlighted my script.
Yeah.
All of that makes for a star that does care, my girl. So trying to add some wicked eyeliner and a bit of a tousled peroxide blonde hair.
Billie
and
Eilish adjacent.
it's Billie Eilish, Jason. But then I go back on myself and go, no, Sam, that's not fair because I feel like there's men that are like, I don't give a fuck, and I think less about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I don't really care about men and I don't think about them often. But when a woman tries to do it, I don't give a fuck thing, I'll instantly want to be like, is that authentic? Is that real? And I question why I do that. But music theatre is not... It's not a.
And I understand, and I think everyone does. I think it feels like an overcorrection because she's come from music theatre
Overcorrection's
land.
perfect.
It feels like swinging the pendulum so far the other way of being like, I'm hot, I'm sexy, I'm cool, and I don't give a fuck, which is all the things that like music theatre triple pirouette stand on the X is not.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think it's song so, and I'm still in. I really can't stress. I'm obsessed with her. I really think she's sick.
Ditto.
Yeah,
Ditto.
This is not at all. I just think it's really fascinating. It feels like to me a performance of not caring, and it doesn't feel real.
Yep.
Because I think Renée Rapp cares a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that's what's interesting. I think she cares heaps about her
If you're
image.
doing the Jimmy Awards, that's
Yeah.
like that's the top of the dance mum's pyramid of caring. That's high school caring to be like, I will go to the Tony level of like the school awards for my musical of Beauty and the Beast, and I will play the candelabra and I will slay the Boots House down. May I win that plastic trophy?
Totally.
Do you know what I mean?
But even now, even as she's kind of feels to be exiting her music theatre era,
Yep.
I think she cares a lot about how she's seen as a pop star,
Yep.
how she's seen in general, how gay she seems. I feel a bit, which is unfair, but I feel like going, it's all good, girl. I know you're gay. Do you know what I mean?
I understand that. Mel, my favourite queer elder. No, but I get it. No. But genuinely, yes. Mel, my favourite queer elder that before went, does that shirt say lesbian? And then you were like, no, it says Lee Jeans. What I was going to say about this as well is, you know, the whole chat around Renée Rapp is, oh, gosh, the girl's so funny because, God, she's so poorly media trained. Her PR training's bad. My question is, every time she's getting in front of the mic, do you think that is from complete lack of PR training and her truly being unfiltered and authentic, or a performance of, sorry, I've gone off cuff and this and nipple that and I don't need to say nipple. That feels weirdly sexist.
No, I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like a performance of I'm not PR trained.
Yeah.
Nipple was so irrelevant.
No, I know what you mean. I know
Yeah.
what you mean. It's the like shock element factor, and the shock element factor of like if she met the Queen, I feel like she'd be like, work. Do you know what I mean? And that clip would go viral. And that hasn't happened, but I foresee that. Lucy the Oracle, I foresee it.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, here's the question we're asking today on Ratbag. It's got nothing to do with Renée Rapp.
Yeah.
It's got to do with can a music theatre girly that stands on X and sing with bell-like vibrato start a pop star career of that's all we're asking.
It's a bit us when we like to pretend it was us at the nightcap.
Mel and I
It's us to a T.
Let's come absolutely clean on this mic for a hot second. Our entire brand is theatre kids, and for theatre kids that don't want people to know they're theatre kids and think they're a little bit cool and wear blue eyeliner. We are exactly that.
It's exactly the same. It takes one to know one.
The amount of times we've been in music theatre spaces with like casts that are like, fuck yeah, my opening night. And we're like, hell yeah. How's the show going? Hell yeah. And I'm like, ew, this is a performance. I care more than anyone in the entire world.
Truly.
Literally last year I did a 5-part unpacking of Let Me Be Your Wings from Thumbelina and basically unpacked every karaoke track that existed going, can't believe that one's not in the right original key. And when
But
they
then
did it,
you put on a sparkly bralette and think it cancels it out.
and I think I'm cancelling it all out.
We're not cancelling it out.
That's it. And if we ask what came first, the chicken or the egg, if it's music theatre or the not caring, it was music theatre. It was Glee. It was Pitch Perfect. Let's go back to our roots. We deeply care. If you've ever sung a cappella, you care more than anything in the entire world.
It's us writing one of our songs, Soft Girl, and when we wrote it, and we were like, fuck, this is actually like, could be a pop song. And then it's us performing on stage, if you wear matching jammies, like people pleasing.
What's the tune is like?
With little flute parts and it's like, no, we're faggy little MT bitches.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The not caring from me, if anyone's ever wondering, it's always a performance. It's never because I don't care. I care deeply about everything.
So deeply. And my wrap up of my dissertation is that I think Renée Rapp cares too.
I think she cares too.
And the one thing that I wrote down, because I do feel like this, what were you going to say?
I was going to say one more thing.
Go.
I think it's incredibly fair as well to care because female pop stars have to constantly reinvent themselves.
I agree.
So maybe it's actually
and under
like,
so much scrutiny, and I'm doing that at the moment,
that's
so I'm
exactly
the problem.
it. Yeah. So I'm saying that, like, you know what, girly pop, you put that eyeliner on a little bit thicker and
Totally.
you rock the house down boots.
And you upload those pictures of you going, again, a visual
I've never
cue.
quite mastered the art of doing the half-drunk kind of eye that shows off the eyeliner and the glittery eye that she can do.
I kind of have. I've been using it in some photos recently, and I've gone, fuck, things
Look
are
at
really
her.
changing.
She
for
thinks
me.
that she's Renée Rapp's queer elder, but she takes advice and inspiration from her on the gram, don't you, babe?
I do. You're very funny. You make me
Let's start a new hashtag. Hashtag Renée Rapp cares, and so do I. Because that's what we're talking about today.
Do you know what's really beautiful? Is I came into the studio going, I hate that song. And we've ended at, I think we're all Renée Rapp. And if that ain't feminism, I don't know what is.
What was, can I
People
ask?
love to say we don't talk about the real stuff on Ratfood.
I want to talk about one more thing with Renée Rapp after the break. Is that all right? Yes. All right, hell yeah. Here's a quick ad and then we have more to unpack on Renée Rapp.
Go.
I have a question for you. What was the general thoughts on the music video? Are the comment section being like, not your best? Or are people like, hell yeah,
No, I think
fucking
people
love
are
you?
mostly, especially like the young queer gals, I think are like dying for it, which I'm obsessed with.
Okay.
I love it. I love it for them. Yeah. And like I said, I love the hook. I love the hook. For me, actually, if we go like really in, I was like, the first 25 seconds, I was like, I'm upset. Because when I saw the teaser video, I was like, oh, and Sarah was like, I don't know about that. And I was like, no, I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
And then when I listened to the whole song, I went, oh, that's really all it is.
I fear as well, maybe. I mean, you're Gen Z, but you're cusp, my beautiful queer
I'm
elder.
Gen Z.
But I fear that maybe I don't get this one. And I can't have an opinion on this one. Being a true #wicked sister millennial, I've grown up with music videos like Bang Bang, with fucking Jessie J, and they're all on bikes in like 10 rows with high ponytails and tans to the gods. And I've grown up with Beyonce music videos and Rihanna music videos where this is what Gen Z want.
Yeah.
They want the riff-raff, old, handy cam, we're just in a club and it all looks a bit silly and thrown together.
Yeah.
We've grown up with the opposite version. So maybe this is a generational thing.
Yeah.
Where I'm watching going, no, that's not the music videos that I know that Anna Kendrick made in Pitch Perfect. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I do.
It's no Beautiful Liar. It's no fucking Ponder Replay. It's none of them.
To close it out, I just want to read this thing that one of Sarah's friends, Ali, wrote that I really agree with. And I think it wraps it up. I agree with everything she said. I think that she doesn't have a visual or a sonic identity really yet. It feels like she's trying to pivot to be more of an early Debbie Harry kind of anti-male gaze, like from Blondie.
Yep.
Anti-male gaze, hyper girly pop situation, but it doesn't feel authentic yet. And I agree with that so much.
Yep.
It feels like she's trying to be something rather than just being it.
Yeah,
Does that
okay.
make sense?
Yeah.
And then she's like, feels very influenced by Rip Her to Shreds, even though that's actually the least feminist song ever, I agree. Or La Tigra to me, actually. And then she was like, Debbie Harry had a point of view. Everything had a purpose and a motive. That's kind of getting lost when the objective is to recreate a sound that feels like it's already existed. So new people finding her can draw a comparison and accept it because it sounds like something else, but that's kind of not enough. Cool to have references, cool to be inspired, but it doesn't feel necessarily authentic. And I do agree.
I agree with that. The only thing I think as well is, God, it must be impossible to be a pop star
Actually
though
impossible.
and have a unique tone of voice
Yeah.
when you look at the body of work from hundreds of years that have come before of artists. It's like, how the hell can you have a unique voice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when I think about sometimes when we're songwriting and I'm like, for our shows, and I'm like, isn't there at some point any only there it feels like there's a finite amount of combinations of notes and chords and rhythms.
Yeah.
Because really you're only working with quavers, semi-quavers, semi-breves, semi-demi-breves.
Literally.
The end.
No.
Things are going to sound like other things.
I totally agree.
The other thing that Ali said, which I do agree with, is I think everyone was expecting Renée Rapp to take more of an R&B kind of route because that feels like pre Mean Girls and all of that stuff. That's where a lot of her stuff, and you could see her heart and her soul lived in R&B.
Yep.
And I think, and she used to do R&B covers and stuff that would pop off. And I think everyone was expecting that. So then this just feels like a, not that it's not her, but it was really surprising, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I'll be very interested to see if it forms into something else similar to when Ariana Grande started releasing more kind of rappy R&B lo-fi stuff. And people were like, girl, what?
Totally.
You can belt the Boots House down. It wasn't rap lo-fi. I need to stop coming up with genres. It's
No, I know what you
embarrassing.
mean, though.
You know what I
know
mean?
what you mean. I think it's also that classic thing of which we talk about all the time, how infuriating it is to feel like you're being put in a box or that you're kept in a box.
Yes.
And it's hell yeah, Renée Rapp should be able to do R&B a couple of years ago and now be doing this and probably next year be doing something different. And what a cool thing to be evolving. And the thing that I mostly not take issue with, it's not that deep, but have been thinking about is this performance of not caring.
Yeah.
And performance of and this question of is it really punk and rebellious to just be fuck you.
Yeah.
With not much else behind it.
Yeah. I think as well, it's, God, I could talk about this for a million
Yeah.
years.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I think
It's such a can of worms.
with this as well, it's like, yes, we should be critiquing art. Absolutely. I think that I love doing that. It's like so important. Part of me is also like, I'm like, I almost don't want to say anything on her because I'm like, hell fucking yeah. If I had a lesbian pop star like that when I was
Totally.
growing up, and I know that the world is changing and there's so many more artists that are out and queer now, but for this like femme presenting, hot music theatre girly, like that's just, I'm like, I kind of don't even want to say anything. I'm kind of like, you know what, go forth because some of her songs I'm deathly obsessed with.
Same.
Like Pretty Girls, It's Not My Fault, I think
Same.
are two like terrifically well-written songs.
Also,
and produced
J'adore
songs.
Snow Angel.
Yes. So I'm kind of going, part of me goes, I don't want to say anything.
Totally.
And that's like that's the caveat of this whole conversation. But I think we can unpack it. 'cause-
Yeah, and I think like chatting about it and unpacking it and like seeing like where it all comes from doesn't mean like we said, like we opened with, I'm like, I love her and I love what she's doing.
Yeah.
I just think it's so interesting to like see because I think it speaks to a bigger thing.
Yeah. The pressure's also probably been so on because she had her music then dipped and people were like, where are you?
Totally.
To come back. And I feel like anything you release, people are going to be like, I've also heard like often people will, I don't know if you guys are the same. I'm less this. When I hear a song first, I'm like, it pretty much forms my opinion on it. Some people need to hear it a few times and then they're like, you know what? This has really fucking grown on me. I wonder if it will get the push from her label and it will be in our ears a lot on commercial radio and on TikTok.
And in literally next week I could be like, I've changed my mind about everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that happened with you and Ariana Grande's album. I remember specifically when we were in Adelaide and we listened to it together for the first time and we were both like, I'm not losing my mind.
That was one that grew on me for sure, which
And
is
then-
odd because usually I'm quite like, nope, this is my opinion.
And you're such an Ariana Grande girl, and then a few weeks later, you're like, no, hold on, I think this is some of her best stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So I'll
It's
be
also,
very interested.
it's not lost on me how meta it is that the lyrics of like, the lyric and vibe of this song that Renee has put out is like, people keep asking me like, oh, what are you doing it for? Oh, what are you doing? It's like, fuck off, leave me alone, I want to have fun. And it's not lost on me how meta that is.
No.
That we're sitting in a podcast studio in Australia being like, what do you think about? No. And she's like, actually, leave her alone, bitch. She wants to have fun.
You know what? I'm also just really quickly, I'd love to know who wrote it. Okay, right. So performed by Renée Rapp, written by Alexander Glantz, Julianne Benetta, Omer Fedi, Renée Rapp, and Steph Jones.
Hell yeah.
So it's like got quite a big
Steph
team.
Jones from Murals Wedding the Musical Australia. I love her work.
Good to get that music theatre peppered in the song.
You're
Leave me
fucking
alone,
amazing.
bitch. I want to have fun. It would be, that's the choir arrangement, the rest. Have fun.
Tune in next week to see Sam and I's a cappella choir arrangement of Leave Me Alone, bitch. I want to have fun.
Dun, dun, dun. Renée Rapp, we fucking love you. And God, she's so hot. And talented.
She's so hot. She's absolutely my celebrity crush.
Yeah.
For sure.
Maybe we're like those men that are like, can't have her, so fucking
yeah.
My question is, do you reckon you ever see her going back to Broadway?
Yes,
after
yes.
this?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
The
in your
theatre
bones.
never leaves you.
I'm like, you can stomp around in your stompy boots with your guitar and go, wanna go with her. But I'll oracle. I'm going to oracle for a second. Here's my prediction. Here we go. 2028, she will absolutely be in a revival production of some rock musical. Thank you so much for playing.
Couldn't agree more. Yep. She'll be leading Jagged Little Pill in a couple of summers' times. Absolutely.
100%. I want you to know.
She'd be great in that, actually.
She would.
Well, there you go. Renée Rapp, everyone. While I was critiquing this on my tram ride on the way over, it got me thinking. I was like, I hate that feeling of when I feel like I'm being a bad gay. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Of being like, and it feels like certain things are just like, certain things are sacred and can't be touched. And it's like, as a queer woman critiquing Renée Rapp, I'm like, wrong.
Yeah,
wrong,
that's
wrong,
what I was thinking
wrong.
before.
Yeah.
I almost didn't want to touch it, but
Yeah, and it's not critiquing, it's merely unpacking.
Yeah.
But it made me think, have you ever like had a moment of being like, I feel like I'm being a bad queer person?
Oh, that's a good question.
Good question.
Yeah,
right?
let me think
That's
on
a
it.
good one.
'cause
Yeah.
I have a story that if my parents are listening, can you absolutely switch off right now, please? I'll let you into my business. Now's the time to go off and go to your shed,
All right,
Dad.
Sam doesn't go into the accounting office and watch you work, Chris. All right,
Switch off.
let it be free.
I had a moment where I was like, well, maybe this queer shit isn't for me. This was a few years ago. I was at a nightclub and I met this person and they were
Is this the story that I think it is?
I met this person and I was like, I went in that night being like, you know what? I'm going to go to this night solo because I know some people will be there that I know. But like I really went in a lone soldier.
Yeah.
I head on in and I met this person and they're like, oh, like we were just chatting and it was like hot and vibes. And they're like, do you want a drink? And I'm like, absolutely, I'd love a drink. So I had my raspberry lemonade, like a sober little bitch. Had my raspberry lemonade, chatting. Vibes are plenty. And I was like, this person's like kind of hot. They were like a little bit masked, a bit like, had a bit of Renée Rapp to them. And I was like, hell yeah, I know a lot about Ratt.
You're like, my wife's a queer elder. I've got plenty of rat around me.
Hell yeah. And they were like, obviously vibes got vibing and we ended up like making out a bit on the dance floor and I was like, this is hot, this is vibes. It was true definition of like nightclub hookup where I was like, God, we haven't said a lot to each other, but here we are macking on, like you better work. Macking on, vibes. And then things got like a little bit hot and we were like, as we were making out, they kind of looked at me. They didn't kind of, they did. They looked me up and down. They body scanned me and they went,
Body scanned you.
They went, good God, you look like Anna Green Gables. And I went, yeah, right.
Okay.
No bloody worries. And I'm like, sure. Kept making out with them because I'm hashtag queer. Got to stick with the plan. Just kidding. Making out. And then things got even a little bit more hot. And we went to the women's bathroom.
Look out.
And some things started to happen. And it was really, really hot. And as we were making out again, it was getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And then things started, they started, who cares? They started fingering me. It was really...
It's got you dancing around this like we haven't talked about. Things are so much more hectic on mic. Because like us being Takima in a few weeks ago, like, and what part of penetration do you really enjoy?
Like the penis
what is
as a
the
vagina.
central sensation? And then you being like scared to say the word fingering.
Literally. So anyway, they started fingering me and it was like super vibes. And I was like, hell yeah, this is like a dirty, slutty little nightclub hookup. I'm so in.
The best kind.
And then I said something to them. I can't even remember what I said. And then as they were fingering me, they looked at me and they went, yeah, whatever you say, Anne.
Oh.
You're not watching on YouTube where rendered speechless. And I went, and I literally don't even remember what I thought. But I remember being like, that can't have just happened. But with their whole pussy, they were like, yeah, whatever you say, Anne. I was like, are you just fucking me because I look like Anne of Green Gables? Because that is so problematic.
Having an Anne of Green Gables.
Also, me and Anne of Green Gables
Yeah, that's
clutch right now. Maybe I did it to myself. Samantha Anne of Green Gables. And Andrew.
And at that point you went, good God, maybe I am a bad gay because even I can't do this.
Yeah, Mel's trying to find the link. I'm like, anyway, I got fingered and I was Anne of Green Gables. She's like, that has nothing to do with the prompt. That was a moment where I went, holy shit, I can't believe I'm doing this. And then I think it wrapped up pretty soon after that. That's my story.
So good.
You?
I also have a really fantastic... Do we have time for one more story, Luce?
Go
okay,
for
I
it.
have
It's
a
a
really...
killer episode. You're welcome, Rats.
Bing, bang, bong.
Sparks flying.
We should do fake current rat foods more often.
Yeah, instead of a regular Rat Food that's trending where I go, do you guys see this TikTok? And everyone on the studio is like, yeah. And then we're like, that was trending. Anyway, how was Beetlejuice the musical, Mel?
Guys, we just thought that Sam had an issue with her mic and she's just said the words, okay, that's fine. I'm just not going to move for the next little bit.
I'm going to
So
be
if you're on the YouTube
statuesque.
and she's stiff as a board, that's why.
Hell yeah.
No, this isn't a story that's about being like, oh, I'm a bad gay, although maybe it is. Oh, let me just tell the story. It's a really, really good story. One night I was like, it made me think of it because you're talking about like club hookup stories. And I was like at a club, met this one girl. started kind of like hooking up with her in the club. We were like on this little couch thing, started hooking up with her, and her friend was next to us. And then the friend was like, oh, like, I feel left out. Like, what about me? And then, so I started, like, kissing her as well. And, like, the three of us were kissing, three of us. It was, like, vibes, really hot. And then they were, like, the two of them were best friends. And they were, like, so we were, like, we started, like, fucking in the bathrooms as well. And then she was, like, do you want to come, like, back to ours? Like, should we kind of, like, move this home type of thing? And I was like, hell yeah, that's so hot. Let's go. So hot, on a whim. Who cares? We're like in the Uber and one of the girls goes, oh, just so you know as well, I do have a boyfriend, but we're open. Like, so like it's super like chill. Like if you hear like if you hear me mentioning that or anything, like I'm in an open relationship. And I was like, I am too. How gorgeous. I was like, how nice to also meet people who are also like healthily open and acting on their openness. And so we go back. So there's the girl who has the boyfriend and her best friend. Yeah. Now, this is where it gets complex. The best friend, so not the one who has the boyfriend, but the other one, that person lives with the best friend's boyfriend. So we get to the house. In the house is 2 bedrooms. Yeah. There's the person who doesn't have the boyfriend's room. Yeah. And the friend's boyfriend. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Right. So we're in the person who I've been hooking up with room as we get home, and we're having sex. It's like great, it's hot, and then all of a sudden the girl with the boyfriend like jolts up, sits up in bed, literally like this, jolts up in bed, and she goes, I'm so sorry, I really can't do this.
Oh God,
and then I was like, you know this story. And then I was like, that's okay, like no worries, like you can always change your mind, like in the middle of things, no worries. And she was like, I'm so sorry, I can't do this. I'm not open.
Babe.
I just really wanted to have this threesome, but I feel ill with guilt.
God, I admire the honesty.
I feel sick. I can't even like make it to the end.
Oh no.
Because keeping in mind, we are the bedroom next to where her boyfriend is sleeping peacefully in his bed.
In that moment, what came over you? Did you feel like shame? Did you feel like I'm so stressed? Were you like,
no, I knew that I hadn't done anything wrong.
No, of course. But I'm like, you're still in a position where you're in a house where you're part of something that's bad. Yeah. Not that you're the...
Well, it was kind of awkward. But the worst part is instead of probably just going home and calling it quits, Don't
tell me you kept fucking.
Me and the other person just kept going because I was like, well, I'm here.
Absolutely.
I'm here. I'm queer.
I'm here. I'm queer. What are you going to do about it?
Whilst we're like fucking while in the room next door, we're hearing like, I'm so sorry, Matt. Okay, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to, because she's clearly trotted over across the hall to wake up this poor guy
to go coming through the walls.
Something really bad.
I know, like, babe, but I didn't even think that. Yeah. That's perfect. I want to see that split screen like so badly.
Yeah.
Did you say bye when you were done, or you just kind of trotted
No, I didn't say bye to... I said bye to the guilty girl when she went to go chat with Matt.
Bye to the guilty girl, to Gigi. See you later. Shit. And in that moment... But you kept fucking...
And let's like, dive back in, and in that moment I went, wow, I really am a bad gay. Not everything has to have a fucking link.
Let us know in the comments if you're sick of the segment names and if you just want us to chat. Because we don't know anymore.
It's okay to just be like, I have a funny story. Yeah. But instead on the tram I go, how am I going to tie all that together?
It's me yesterday in the meeting with Tom. Tom's like, how are we all feeling about work? And I went, I have no bloody idea what people think about our Ratfood. So I'm like, I'd love to know what they're thinking. How's it going? Let us know in the comments. We're having a great time.
We're having fun. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that is wild.
It's such a good story.
So good.
It?
Oh, we're getting a little party wrap up hands. It's not my fault. Oh, now I'm still thinking about Renée Rapp. She's really hot.
She's so fucking hot.
Yeah.
Leave me alone, bitch. I want to have fun. And I've always said that.
Absolutely.
That was that girl to her boyfriend.
Yeah. And it's all tied in.
And all of a sudden, we've arrived.
Hell yeah. Also, just a little quick promo. We are headlining for Pride Fest.
Yes.
For Qtopia in Sydney, which will be in June. Please come along. We're doing the Platonic Human Centipede.
Yeah.
This is like the last of our touring for the next little bit. I think people get very like, they'll be back soon. It's like, no, Jeremy. Please come along, buy your tickets. And Sydney, you are famous for being in our comments going, when are you coming to Sydney? When are you coming to Gadigal? And then we come and people are like, it's not my fault. And they just walk past us. And I'm like,
As we perform to an audience of 4. So
as Mel goes in the night group, you guys want some cheap tickets? And then everyone's like, ew, no, I've
never wanted to die more than when one year in Sydney, we were really struggling for ticket sales. It was particularly hard year. And I messaged being like, to like entire night of cohorts going, free tickets for anyone who wants them, and no one responded. Not one person claimed one.
Kids.
And I went, guys,
I know.
we've lost the plot.
So we're coming. It's gonna be an absolute hoot. Hey, if you want to come and just bring some extras from Star Now, and you can pay for their tickets, and you want to hire a crew of people, we don't give a fuck. We just need to fill these seats. It's giving disconnect from my brand and audience. What do people think of the Ratfood? Hire some extras to come see the show. We do care.
We're losing touch.
Because
we care.
We've come
full circle. Lucy, anything to say to the rats?
I wish.
Nothing. No.
Hey.
Okay. Hey, girl.
Hell yeah. No, nothing else to say. Just come to our show. We'll put the show at the show notes.
The show low and the logo and the show notes of the rowboat.
I was going to try and, good God, don't row you boat me when I'm trying to put the show notes in the, fuck this. We'll put the link in the show row your boats. See you later. This is it. We're actually becoming Joe Rogan with cunty eyeliner. I'm done. The microphone's cracking. I'm being silenced.
Infiltrated by Rapp.
Sorry,
Renée.
She needs to do a rap album. That's her last name. That'll also come too. Oracle. Okay, this is ridiculous.
All right, guys. See you on Monday.
Bye.
This is a Grouse House podcast. Mel and Sam would like to acknowledge that this podcast was created and recorded on stolen land.
The original custodians of this land have had a rich history of storytelling for over 65,000 years, and we pay our respects to the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, whose land we are making Ratbag on.
Treaties were never signed, sovereignty was never ceded, always was and always will be Aboriginal land.